The air was thick with a stench that didn't belong in the manicured suburbs. It wasn't the familiar scent of fresh-cut grass or smoky barbecues. No, this was sharp, acrid, wrong. Jake's gut twisted as he turned onto his grandfather's street, his foot slamming the brake before his brain could process why. Then he saw it, a rusty barrel spewing black smoke, surrounded by a cluster of HOA members in their pastel polos, clutching clipboards and coffee cups, their laughter grating like shards of glass. They weren't just burning trash. They were torching his grandfather's life. Jake's breath caught as his eyes locked on the flames. A tattered sleeve, pinned with a purple heart, crumbled in the fire. Photographs curled into ash. His mother's sobs sliced through the haze, her hands clutching her chest on the porch, tears streaming down her face. Something in Jake snapped. He bolted from the car, shoving past a woman in a crisp cardigan, Laura, the HOA's self-appointed queen. She stumbled, gasping, but Jake didn't care. "What the hell are you doing?" he roared, his voice raw, trembling. Laura smirked, adjusting her sleeves. "Cleaning up your grandpa's mess. His house doesn't meet community standards." Jake's body locked up, rage surging through every vein. His hands shook, not from fear, but from a fury so deep it felt like it could split the earth. The flames devoured fabric, leather, history, his grandfather's World War II jacket, a relic of sacrifice, reduced to nothing. He lunged, the heat searing his skin, and yanked the charred sleeve from the fire. It crumbled in his hands. He whipped around, ready to tear Laura apart, but a faint shuffle stopped him. His grandfather, Henry, stood on the porch, frail but rigid, his face blank, eyes distant. His trembling hands betrayed a pain that cut deeper than words. This wasn't just a jacket. It was his brother's, his battles, his survival, torched by soulless suburban overlords. Jake's rage boiled over. Laura crossed her arms, unfazed. "This is an HOA community. We have rules." His yard was cluttered with junk. Junk? Jake's fists clenched, nails biting into his palms. "Junk?" he spat, voice cracking. "That jacket was a veteran's history. Do you know what he went through?" Laura hesitated, but her lackey, Greg, chimed in with a smug laugh. "We respect veterans, but rules are rules." Jake's vision blurred. Rules? They'd burned a Purple Heart for rules. Henry turned silently and walked inside, his silence louder than any scream. Laura sighed, dripping condescension. "If it was so important, you should have responded to our letters." Jake's pulse pounded. "One letter," he growled, stepping closer. "To a 95-year-old man who can barely see." Laura didn't flinch. Greg shrugged. "Not our problem." Oh, but it was about to be. Sleep was impossible. Every time Jake closed his eyes, he saw the flames, Laura's smirk, and his grandfather's trembling hands. This wasn't rage that faded, it simmered, waiting to explode. By midnight, Jake was documenting everything: charred cloth, scorched photos, twisted metal that used to be metals. 400 photos by 1 a.m., every angle, every fragment. By 2 a.m., he was writing, pouring fury into every word: Laura's quotes, Greg's smirk, his mother's sobs. By 3 a.m., he was sifting through ashes, lungs burning, fingers black with soot, desperate to salvage something. Nothing was left but rage. Then he made the call. Not to a lawyer. Not the police. To his father, a retired Pentagon official. The phone rang twice. "They burned Grandpa's World War II jacket," Jake said, voice tight. Silence. Then, "Who?" "The HOA." A pause. "I'll handle it." That was all Jake needed. By morning, the Pentagon knew. By afternoon, every major news outlet had the story: CNN, Fox, MSNBC, even local stations. The HOA's Facebook group erupted in chaos, neighbors demanding answers, others distancing themselves. Jake's phone buzzed nonstop: journalists, veterans groups, lawyers, even a senator offering legislative action. Laura and her crew? Sweating bullets. They thought they'd get away with it. They were wrong. The next morning, 2 black SUVs rolled into the neighborhood, silent and deliberate. Laura, mid-rant in her yard, froze as the Pentagon logo flashed on the agents' badges. "Are you the grandson?" one asked. Jake nodded. "We need to speak with your grandfather." "And the HOA board?" Laura stammered. "This is private property." The agent's voice was steel. "Ma'am, you destroyed government property. That jacket was a military uniform. That's a federal offense." Laura's face strained of color, her hands fluttering uselessly. News vans arrived, cameras swarming. Laura tried spinning her story, voice syrupy with fake regret. "We regret this misunderstanding," she told reporters. "We had no way of knowing these items were sentimental." "Sentimental?" Jake nearly laughed. She was dodging, acting like she tossed out an old couch, not a veteran's legacy. For a moment, it seemed she might slither out of it. Then the veterans arrived. Local vets first, stone-faced, staring Laura down. Then the heavy hitters: American Legion, VFW, Wounded Warrior Project. The cameras shifted. Veterans spoke of brothers lost, medals earned in blood, the jacket's weight for every soldier. The internet exploded. Headlines screamed: HOA burns veterans' World War II memorabilia, Pentagon investigates. Laura's name trended with words like disgrace and criminal. Sponsors fled, businesses cut ties, and the HOA imploded. The Pentagon didn't stop at an inquiry. A Congressional Committee on Veterans' Rights demanded a hearing. Henry, the 95-year-old hero, was called to testify. The Capitol was packed, veterans in dress uniforms, others in leather jackets with unit patches. Henry walked to the stand, holding a scorched scrap of his uniform. "This jacket," he said, voice steady, "was all I had left of the men who never came home." Silence fell, heavy, unshakable. Even the slickest politicians froze. Some things you don't spin. Laura tried damage control, TV interviews, crocodile tears, blaming Jake's family. It didn't work. The nation had decided she was the villain. The HOA collapsed, board members turning on each other. Laura vanished, her house dark, her resignation a pathetic 2-sentence note. Greg and the others followed, quitting before they were fired. Lawsuits piled up. Jake's family sued for damages, veterans groups for destroying protected memorabilia. The neighborhood turned, demanding resignations, furious at wasted HOA fees. The Pentagon delivered the final blow. Laura and her crew were blacklisted from government contracts, military projects, anything tied to veterans. No appeals. No second chances. But the real closure came later. At a veterans' memorial, flags snapping in the wind, a Pentagon officer stood before a crowd of veterans. "Sir," he said to Henry, "no apology can undo what was lost. That jacket was history, a sacrifice. We can't replace the past, but we can honor it." He handed Henry a new World War II uniform, insignia perfect, medals gleaming, and a letter from the Secretary of Defense, an apology from the highest level. Henry ran his fingers over the wool, a small smile breaking through. "Damn good fit," he muttered. The crowd stood, some saluting, others wiping tears. Jake watched, his rage finally quiet. Justice wasn't just lawsuits or hearings. It was this, something real, something that mattered. Laura was gone, her name erased from the neighborhood. Every Memorial Day, Jake told the story, because some things you don't let burn. What do you think? Was the HOA's obsession with rules justified, or was their arrogance a step too far? Should Jake's family have fought harder to save Henry's belongings before it came to this? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear your take on this fiery clash of power and pride.